We're going to be working with the Sweet Talk Suite, and it's on page 8, 9, and 10 of your mini catalog, okay? And so I'm going to show you the products in just a few minutes. You're going to notice that not only do we have a stamp set and a set of dies, there's a beautiful embossing folder, boxes, rhinestones, ribbon, and paper. So I'm going to show you all of that. Hello, Kathleen. Welcome from Florida. And then on page 10, you're going to notice a close-up picture of the stamp set. And you're going to also see some beautiful samples right here. Don't forget, there are also some lovely samples on this page as well, okay? Now, something I do want to point out, just in case you're new to Stampin' Up! Or you may have forgotten, whenever you see a shape that's highlighted, that means that there is a die to cut that out, okay? So you can cut that piece out, this piece, these hearts as well, and this tag. All right, so that's what we're working with, and I'm going to give you a close-up now. This is the actual stamp set. It's called Sweet Conversations, and I've decided to put my dies inside the box. This is a photopolymer stamp set, okay? So once I've used all the pieces, they'll all go back in these places, and that way I can check to be sure that I haven't lost any stamped images, okay, or any stamps. So, and if you're interested in this case and the magnet, they do come together. It's from a company called Stamp in Storage, and let me know and I'll send you the link where you can find it, okay? All right, so I do want to show you the dies. They're pretty cool, and you might even want to get a screenshot of this. All right, but you'll notice that we've got 3 different size hearts. We've got a tag, 2 banners, this banner here and the smaller banner, and then you actually get 8 of these little hearts that you can cut out. And then you get these heart strips. I'm going to show you how to use that tonight, okay, with adhesive, with the adhesive sheets. And then here is a longer connected heart border. And these hearts pop right out of it when you cut it out. And then this border has 3 hearts, and these little hearts pop out. You also get this cute little envelope, and you also, not only can you stamp the heart and cut it out, but you can actually stamp again, stamp on top of that heart and cut it out. And so you've got words that fit on the top of this heart. The word love you fits on the top of this medium heart. And you see the small heart here? You actually get 2 sets of words for the small heart. You get BFF, best friends forever, or hug me. All right? So I'll show you how they work this evening, okay? Now, let me show you some of the embellishments. This is the Real Red Faux Linen. It does feel like linen. It really is super easy to tie, and you get 10 yards. Now, if you participated in my ribbon share, you will receive 2.5 yards of this ribbon, okay? Now, we also have the Iridescent Rhinestones Basic Jewels. That's a mouthful. Let's see how many are in here. There are 200, and they're 3 different sizes. And if you are participating in my embellishment share, then you're going to receive a half package of these rhinestones. So they'll be coming soon. By the way, product shares should begin shipping on the next Tuesday, January 25th, okay? Now, I'm going to show you the designer paper, but unfortunately, I don't have that much designer paper to show you because I've used most of it. So we've got the heart piece here. By the way, the paper does come 12 by 12. And if you participated in my product share, you're going to receive 6 by 6 sheets. So here's the opposite side of the hearts. And then we have this beautiful piece right here. And if you flip it over, this is Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, okay? Now, this sheet of paper, you can actually use the heart dies in the set to cut out these hearts, okay? So you can cut out all these hearts, embellish boxes and cards with them. And the opposite side is right here, okay? And we're actually going to use, I think we're using this sheet of paper tonight. And they're like little suckers, but they have hearts on them. Aren't they cute? And this is the opposite side, okay? And then I love this piece. This is all I have left. This is such a fun piece of designer paper. And if you flip it over, you get this, this variation in shading, and it's like Blushing Bride, okay? It almost looks like watercolor. All right, so that's the only pieces that I have to show you, but you're gonna see some other pieces of designer paper when I create the cards tonight, okay? So let me show you the first card. And for those of you who are in my Hostess Club, we made this card during club this month. So if you were not able to attend Hostess Club, this is the card, okay? And I'm gonna show you how to put it together, all right? So let me go ahead and I'm gonna get my supplies together, and this is the first card that we're going to make. And then I'm going to show you how to create this box using the boxes that are in the suite, okay? So we're gonna start with that. And let me get my supplies here. I want to also highlight the Special Moment stamp set. And thank you, I'm so glad you liked the card. I'm over in the Celebration book, and we're going to be using the Special Moment stamp set, and we'll stamp the inside of the card, okay? This stamp set right here is a Celebration exclusive. It is free with a $100 purchase. And as you can see in this spread, that they were able to use the greetings from this set on all of these different kinds of cards. So you're going to find thinking of you, sympathy, well wishes, get well, happy birthday. So we will be using that tonight as well. And this is my Celebration pick of the week, okay? It is a great stamp set. Okay. Well, we're going to start with a standard card base, and a standard card base measures 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And we actually score it right in the middle, and the middle of the sheet of cardstock is 4.25 inches, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and fold this. By the way, this cardstock is Highland Heather, okay? Peggy, thank you so much. Thank you, Janie. Thanks, Linda. I'm so glad you liked the card. That always makes me feel good. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna use some basic white cardstock. I've already taken the time to cut this one out, but I wanna show you where it's from. It's from Scalloped Contours Dies, and it is this one, which is second to the largest. All right, so second to the largest, that's the one that we are using. Okay. Now you'll notice on the sample that I've used this designer paper. And now I'm going to change up and use this piece. And let's flip it over and you'll see what this looks like on the other side. So I'm like totally out of this. Hi, Rosemary. I want to measure this piece of paper for you, just so you know the exact measurements. It is 2 5/8 of an inch by 3 7/8 of an inch, okay? And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal, and you're gonna find that this piece of designer paper is going to fit perfectly on this scalloped rectangle, and it's gonna fit between the dotted lines. All right. Okay, so that's going to be our first and second layer that's going to go on the card base. All right, so for those of you who are in Hostess Club and you could not attend, this is your second project. Your first project was the calendar, and this one is your second. All right. And I'm gonna be popping up this layer, all right? And I'm gonna peel this off. Kathleen, I love the scalloped contour dies. I just love using them, and they make a really quick and easy card. So I try and remember that, you know, when I'm creating cards. Hey, let's get out that die set again. All right. And we're just going to center this on the card base. Okay? So that's what we do there. Now we're going to do a bit of stamping, and we're going to do some cutting out so that you can see what the dies will do. All right, so let me get this back in here. We're going to actually stamp 2 hearts that we're going to cut out. Okay? And we're going to stamp the big one. Again, photopolymer stamp set. This is a distinctive stamp set, which means there's a variation in the texture. And so you'll notice that when we ink onto paper. So this is not a solid image, all right? And that's important to know so that when you stamp it, you know, you won't think, uh-oh, my stamp's not working. This is what it's supposed to look like, okay? All right. Oh, yay, Becky, your calendar came today. That is awesome. I'm so glad. I believe you were our winner that night, right? I'm pretty sure you were. Okay, so now I'm going to get out the Blushing Bride. And I'm going to get out the smaller heart. Again, it's a distinctive stamp set. We're inking and Blushing Bride, and that's what it's going to look like. So you see that little space there? It's supposed to do that, okay? Now, I'm getting ready to show you how to stamp on top of these hearts. We're going to go a little darker with Real Red because we want the words to show up on the heart, okay? And I'm going to use the word hug me, and I'm going to try and stamp right over this. Okay, so I'm going to do that again, and the reason I'm off center is because, and I'm going to cut this way. The reason I'm off center is because I can't look directly over the stamp without getting my head in the camera. So I'm going to, you may see my head, okay? Because I need to be able to stamp right on top of this heart. All right, so there's my Blushing Bride heart. Now I'm going to add the words. And I may even move this closer to me, okay, just so that I can see to stamp. Okay, I got it that time. That's what it looks like, all right? So you might be saying, well, Tammy, you're still off. You didn't stamp it exactly on top of the heart. But guess what? That is the style of the stamping, all right? It's supposed to look like that, all right? So I know some people like that look, others don't. But I want you to know there's nothing wrong with the stamp or even with me. It's supposed to be a bit off center like that, and you'll even notice it in this sample, okay? Hi, Mary, welcome. All right, so these two we're gonna cut out with our Stampin' Cut emboss machine in just a moment. Now we're going to take a piece of real red cardstock, and I'm going to add this little piece of the adhesive sheet, all right? So that's what I'm using right now. Y'all have seen me use these many times. We sell adhesive sheets from the annual catalog. They are 6 inches by 12 inches. This was just a little scrap that I had that I'm putting on the cardstock. Now let's get our dies out. And we're going to need this heart and this heart and this heart right here, okay? All right, I'm about to sneeze, so let me grab... Okay. All right, so now we are ready to stamp. Let's move the dies out. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to bring in our Stampin' Cut emboss machine. All right. All right, I'm all set up for cutting the dies, okay? So I'm starting with platform 1, and I also need a 2. I need the cutting pad. Now I'm going to take this real red cardstock, I'm going to flip it over, and then I am going to add the hearts, okay? All right, now let's see if I can get the other hearts on here. Here's one of the hearts. And let's see if I can get this one on here. Maybe I can get all 3 done at one time. Now you're gonna also notice when you go to cut that you're gonna have a bit of basic white paper. See that? All right, it's supposed to do that. So it's not an exact fit. You're going to have some white around the image, the stamped image. All right, so this is where I just hold my breath and roll this through. Haha, look at that. That really moves. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back. All right. These are cut. Okay, this one is cut. So we're good there. And now this is also cut. And I use that adhesive. See that? We'll get to that in a second. But this heart moved on me while we were rolling it through. So I just want to get that in a better place. And I think we're good. My plates aren't very even, so we'll see how well. Yeah, it went through just fine. I thought it was gonna fuss at me because my plates were not very even. Okay. All right, so let's bring in our little pieces, and I am going to just go ahead and put these away so that I don't lose them. It's easy for them to get misplaced. Okay, so here's the heart, and I want to pop this out. Okay, so now when that heart border comes out, it has adhesive on the other side. I'm just going to pop out my little hearts, just like that, and put that away as well. Okay, we can get back to our card. Sorry, I'm just grabbing things that we need. All right, this is the banner that we're going to use. It's a piece of designer paper. It has that watercolor wash on one side and Blushing Bride. And on the opposite side, it's got the candy print, okay? So the banner is actually just going to be taped to the card. This is a super easy card. If you're making Valentine cards for anyone or you need to make a bunch, this is a great card layout because it's very quick and it's very easy to do, okay? Now let's see, the next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll add our heart. We're gonna pop this up. I'm getting rid of these edges. And if Mary Kay is still watching, Mary Kay calls them the bones, which I think is great. So these are the bones of the Stampin' Dimensional sheet. So, all right. And I'm going to put that heart about right there, okay? And it's popped up. And then I'm going to take Hug Me, and I'm going to do the same. So I just need a little skinny piece for this heart. And I'm going to show you where I put that. Let's see. I'm going to put it on this side, and I'll show you why. Okay. So here's the front of the heart, and I wanted to lay against the Highland Heather heart. So I only have dimensional on this side right here, so that this side will lay flat on this heart. So I hope that makes sense. All right, let's see. So we'll lay that about right there. Now you can see this part is laying on top, the purple heart. This piece is popped up, okay? Now I'm going to take the triple heart border, that's what I'll call it, and it has the adhesive sheet on the back. And so I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to peel that off, and I'm going to pick it up and lay it right here. And look how beautifully that lays. Now, if for some reason you're not happy with the position, you can actually peel that up, okay? It can be done. All right, so now the next part is to add the hearts. So you can make those hearts flat by peeling off the adhesive, or you can pop up the hearts. And in this case, I prefer popping them up. So I'm actually adding, hang on one second here, let me get my Take Your Pick tool. I am actually adding a small dimensional, a mini, on the back of that heart. Okay, and I'm going to peel that off, and then I'm going to position that heart right here in that place. So you could do one, or you could do two, or you can do all three hearts, and I have chosen to do all three. So, all right, and then we have one more here. And this dimensional is not in a very good place. Let me see if I can peel that and try again. All right. And now I'm going to peel this off. And I'm going to pop that one up. And I'll show you closer in just a second. Oh, thank you. I'm glad y'all like the card. Getting ready for Valentine's Day. Okay, so now can you see that these hearts are popped up? I'll just try and show you at different angles. Okay? And so we're going to add a little Happy Valentine's Day to it. And we're going to go back to the real red ink. And I have it on this little skinny piece of paper, and I'll give you the measurements in just a second. So let's see here. It is 3 inches long by 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so that was the size of this little banner. And I am going to pop it up. Sometimes these little ones are so hard to pick up. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna put it about right there, okay? All right, and so that's our first card right there, and you'll see it in 2 different designer papers. All right. And I'm actually going to be giving this card away tonight at the very end. We'll put our little Facebook Live in the Hive sticker on it. And we'll be giving that one away in just a bit. Oh, and you know what? We're going to do the inside. All right, so let's do that. And we're going to use the words from Special Moments, okay? So you're going to need some basic white cardstock, and this measures 4 inches. This is going to go inside the card, okay? And 5 1/4 inches. All right, and let's stamp on it before we decide to tape it in there. Okay, if we're crooked, we can flip it over. So this is just a card to say you're amazing. I couldn't decide which sentiment to use. I also thought about where would I be without a friend like you, or for someone who is wonderful each and every day. So any of those would be great little Valentine sentiments. I know, Janie, I do too. The special moment words are awesome. All right, so let's get some designer paper on here. I've already cut it, again, 4 inches, and it is 1 1/4 inches. And we're actually gonna be putting 2 different designer papers on here, okay? So let's get this one on first, just like that. And then here's another one, again, 4 inches, and the width of this one is 3/4 inches. Okay, and we're gonna add that to this. I'm sorry, you all cannot even see me apply the adhesive. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna center that about right there. Isn't that cute? Sometimes I forget to do the insides. Well, most of the time, not sometimes. Most of the time, I don't even put anything in the card until I'm ready to send it. And we're just gonna add this to the inside, right along here. And so someone will get to take this home tonight. What do you think? So super simple card. If you have a bunch of Valentine cards to make, this would be a great one for you to do, okay? Because it's so easy. All right. So hang on, and I'm gonna move some things. And then we're gonna get started with our box, okay? I know, I kind of like the inside too, Peggy. And all we did was to add a little bit of designer paper on the inside. That's it. Okay. So the next thing is our little box. And we're actually going to start with some Highland Heather cardstock, okay? Now, let me show you where you can find the little box, okay? They are part of the suite on page 9, and the boxes are called Sweet Little Boxes, and there are 10 per pack. It's item number 157628. So the first thing we'll do is we will get our box assembled. Now I love this box. The adhesive is already on it, okay? So you do not have to worry about putting adhesive on it. Isn't that awesome? So let's go ahead and we'll fold all the score lines. I agree, Peggy. Sometimes you do just need easy. I mean, it's nice to do the complicated cards and learn lots of different techniques, but at the same time, sometimes we need a quick card. All right. So that's it for the box, okay? I've done all the folding, and now what I'm gonna do is peel off the tape, all right? Yay, Diane! So good to have you. All right. Hey, Amanda, you haven't made it in a while. It's good to have you. I'm gonna make sure these flaps go in, okay? This is going to come up here, and we're gonna close the box. Okay, there's that adhesive. The adhesive's here, just in case you can't see it. All right, and the sides are together. And guess what? Our box is done. It's that easy. These are the sweet little boxes, 10 per pack, okay? So now I'm gonna teach you how to make a belly band for the box, okay? Now we're going to start with my Stampin' Trimmer, and I have some really crazy measurements, okay? And as a matter of fact, I actually printed out the measurements today, so hopefully they are correct. If you want to take a few minutes and get a screenshot, go ahead, and I'm going to show you where these crazy measurements are on the trimmer, okay? I'll show you where they are, but these are going to be the measurements for the cardstock and the designer paper for the box. So you may want a screenshot. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to cut and measure, okay? All right. We're going to start with Highland Heather cardstock, okay? And the box measures 3 7/16, okay? So maybe I'll show you on the ruler. So right here is 3.5, okay? So that's actually 8/16. So we're actually gonna cut it right there on that line, okay? Right there, it's that short line before 3.5, okay? So let's cut that. Then we're going to rotate our cardstock. And now we're going to cut it right here at 6 7/16 of an inch. So that short line before 6.5, okay? All right. This does not look right. Is that gonna go around the whole box? Hang on, let's just make sure. Yeah, it'll fit around the whole box. Okay, just wanna be sure. All right, now we're on the 6 7/16 inch side, okay? Yay, Rosemary. I can't wait till you get them, Rosemary. I hope you got a picture of the dimensions. If not, I will supply them in the Facebook post. Okay, so we're on the long side, and now we want to score. Okay, we're just going to do some scoring. So here's my scoring blade. And we need 9/16, and that's the short line after 2.5. All right, so let me just show you that score line. All right, so this is 2.5. It's the short line right there. You're scoring right there, and that is 2 9/16, okay? All right, now the next two measurements are easy. It's going to be 3 1/4, score, and then 5 3/4, and score. Okay, so we made it through. That's what you have to do, okay? All right, now while we're here, let's go ahead and get the designer paper done. Our designer paper needs to be cut at 2 3/4. All right, so there we are, 2 3/4. And now we need to go back to 6 7/16. Okay? Now we get to do the scoring again. And actually, you don't really have to do the scoring on the designer paper. And you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to show you another way to get those score lines in the designer paper. But it really is important to use your paper trimmer and score those lines in the cardstock, because that's really, it's thick. You know, cardstock is thick. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to fold those score lines right there. Okay. And it really doesn't matter which way you put it on. All right, and it's actually going to cover the entire box, okay? So I want you to be aware of that as well. All right. Now this will stay on with your stamp and seal, okay? So I'm thinking it's probably easier to put it on the cardstock. I will tell you, I made this box probably 2 weeks ago. So it's been a little while since I've actually played with the box and how I originally did it. All right. I want to make sure I get a nice line of stamp and seal on that edge. Okay. So again, this just fits the box. Okay. And then you go around the box and then you close it up. All right. And that's it. And I apologize. I know we had those super crazy measurements. All right. But we made it. And it looks like, and I don't know why it's doing this, it looks like it's a little off there, and I am wondering if it's the box. Oh, well, you know what? It did the same on this one. Okay, so you do have a little bit of allowance there, all right? So you could even, if you wanted, you could even make that longer, but you certainly won't be able to tell once you get the designer paper in, all right? And if you want, you can flip it to this side, okay? All right, so to do the designer paper, I didn't use, and I'm just putting some stamp and seal in various places. I did not use, I didn't score the designer paper, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna put it about right in the middle, okay? Just like that. And then I'm gonna fold, okay? And I'm just kind of burnishing these edges. Now look, I could have scored here, okay? But we know we've got some crazy measurements for scoring, and so it's almost easier just to wrap the designer paper around it and just rub those corners, okay? All right. And there we go. And it looks like here, I could have even made this a little bit longer. So if we were to do that, let me look at my ruler. That's about 1/4 inch. So 6 7/16. You could probably make your designer paper 6 5/8, and that's what I would suggest so that it's not short. Okay, so for designer paper, make that 6 5/8, and that will give you enough coverage of designer paper. Okay, so if anybody wants to get a screenshot of that. All right. Okay. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our ribbon. We're just going to tie a bow here. You could also tie a knot if you want. And then you're just going to adjust your ribbon. Okay. I love tying with this ribbon. So easy to use. Okay, it really is. Now the next thing we're going to do is add a gift tag. And I've already taken the time to cut the gift tag, okay? And this tag die is with the Valentine set. I'm going to take some of our baker's twine, and we're just going to add that. And we're going to tie this right along here. I'm just going to tie another bow. Sometimes I do a knot and then I hide the knot. But I'm going to do a bow. And we'll make that smaller. And cut that. Oh, the ribbon, Diane, is from the Sweet Talk Suite. And it is the Real Red Faux Linen Ribbon. All right, it's the first suite in the mini, okay? All right, so we've added our little tag. And you know what? I was gonna do something, I'm gonna do something totally different, okay? I forgot that I had cut another tag with designer paper, and I want to try it. Okay, so what this is designer paper, and there's the other side. But I just thought that would be so cute with the designer paper and the cardstock. So let's do this. Make it a little different. You can either use cardstock or designer paper. There we go. Now this time, I think I'm going to do a knot. Just changing my mind. All right, so we're good. And you can go ahead and you can work with that knot and just kind of put that towards the back, okay? And if you wanted your tag to be popped up, which I'm going to do, I know y'all are just so shocked that I am going to pop this up. I'm just putting a little dimensional back there. All right. And that way it just stays, you know, a little lifted on the box. Okay. Now I've already taken the time to cut out a Highland Heather heart. And actually, I'm going to change my mind again. I stamped a heart in real red, and so this is actually the one I'm going to use. We are going to have to stamp one more heart. But I had this idea, and I wanted to try it. Okay, so now we have that, and we are going to do a bit of stamping here. Let's go ahead. What do I want to do? Let's see. I think I'm going to stamp one in Blushing Bride. Okay, and do I want the same size? I'm going to do the same size, okay? No, I'm not. I'm going to do a smaller one. All right, and then I'm going to do Hug Me. And again, I am going to have to, there we go. Oh, and you know what? I stamped that in Blushing Bride and not Real Red. All right, so let me see here. Let's do that again. I want to get that. We're going to stamp it in Blushing Bride, and we're going to do our words in Real Red so that our words will show up. Okay, just like we did on the other card. All right. Oh my gosh, peppermint patties would be good. I love that idea, Rosemary. What else could we fit in these little boxes? I think the Ghirardelli chocolates will also fit, you know, those squares. All right, we're gonna do Hug Me. And again, there we go. Now we can see the words better. And by the way, in the sample, hang on, what did I do with it? If you decide to stamp on the purple heart, you want to ink the heart in Highland Heather, then use Gorgeous Grape ink to stamp the words, all right? And that way the words will be a darker purple and they'll show up, okay? All right, well, let's get the die out. We're going to cut one more heart tonight. And see if we can't get a cute tag out of here. All right. Make sure you all can see. There's my heart. All right. Put my die back so that I don't lose it. All right, and we're going to go ahead and pop up this little cutie. All right, and we'll put that one right there. What do you think? Isn't that a fun tag? And then here's the other box. So I'll get pictures of both for you, and I'll also list those measurements as well.